Okay. Good afternoon. It's 2:40 p.m. This is a meeting of the Baltimore City Board of Ethics for Wednesday, March 8, 2023. We have all three members present as well as administrative staff, so we'll call the meeting to order. With respect to today's schedule, is there anybody who has to leave the meeting at a preset hard time? Melly?
I have a hard stop at 4 p.m.
I second that. So, all right, we've got our marching orders. Before we begin, let me let you know that per the Open Meetings Act, the board discloses that it adjourned its virtual open meeting on February 15th, 2023 to enter into administrative session at approximately 11:04 a.m. All board members were present, where the members discussed administrative matters, including complaints. Likewise, today, the board may need to close some or all of this meeting to preserve the confidentiality mandated by the Ethics Code or is otherwise authorized by the State Open Meetings Act. Upon adjournment of the open session, the board may reconvene for administrative session to discuss non-public administrative functions of the board. So welcome all, and we'll move to our February 15th public session written minutes. Have they been reviewed?
There's one amendment or change. It's the number of help desk requests is one more than I had said. It's 113. 30 were ethics inquiries, 27 from lobbyists, and 12 were considering gift solicitation waivers. So those numbers are slightly off. So that those are the correct numbers.
All right, thank you. Any other edits, corrections? All right, I'll go ahead and move for the approval of our February 15th public session written minutes. I get a second?
Second.
All in favor of the approval of the minutes signify by saying aye. Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Right, the minutes are approved. We'll move into our officers update. Officer, take it
All
away.
right. Sure. So I'll read the metrics. 1 second, I pull them up here. All right. 1 second, they're loading. Okay, so we had 29 people complete the ethics training. We have 250 attendees total this fiscal year. 76 help desk requests in February. The majority, 30 had to do with financial disclosure statements, and 26 had to do with ethics inquiries, and the rest were lobbying, gift solicitation waivers, training questions, which were relatively low numbers. So our total comes to 528 this fiscal year. No new complaints. And for gift solicitation waivers, we had one agency withdraw their waiver. It was Councilmember Cohen's office withdrew their waiver for Experience Corps. They no longer intend to solicit donations, and they didn't solicit donations. So they wanted to end that waiver. So our active waivers are 18 and our expired waivers are 13 for this fiscal year. And then for financial disclosure statements, on February 23rd, I emailed all filing entities and notified them of the filing date and asked them to remind their staff to file. And then yesterday, I sent a notice to all required filers. So you all might have received that notice as well, just saying you need to file by the deadline. And those are all the metrics for this month.
That's fantastic. Again, we thank you for your reminder, and we thank you for your reminder closer to the end of the month. So
yes, I'll send a few before the deadline, so
it's
no worries.
A tiny professional courtesy that we really appreciate.
I'll make sure all of you file, especially because you're the ethics board, so no worries. You'll get
We're a volunteer board, so it's good to have somebody, just keeping us ready to go. So thank you.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Christoph, anything?
Yes, only one thing that we have a scheduled in-person quotation marks, meaning Teams training scheduled, ethics training scheduled for the mayor's office. Is that correct, Maura, next week? So we're going to be mixing and mingling and training people on what to look out for and what not. All the other points that I have are part for the non-public section of this meeting.
We look forward to hearing from you then. Thank you. It appears there is no old business, no old public business. Okay, let us move into the new business. And the city council bills, we'll start with Bill 230347, business licensing, consumer protection. Looks like, Chris, you already wrote a response, or you have a draft on that?
Yes, I drafted responses, both bill first readers that we received or requested and then received are very much the same. The plan to create a new office or sub-agency that will include additional staff to be included in our financial disclosures. Other than the current state of the financial disclosure system and the upgrades that we would like to do to it, the board, the ethics staff has no problems with that. You know, we can add probably as many new filers as is necessary. So from the staff's point of view, this is the board should take no position on it because really we can accommodate it and it does not otherwise impact our business.
Yeah, very well. Do we have any discussion on that or any difference of opinion on that?
No, I move we approve the submissions.
Ditto.
All right, second, Arnold?
Second.
All right. Okay, so we have a motion seconded to approve the responses to both Council Bills 230347 and Council Bill 230353. All in favor of the approval of the responses signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. And I think there was a late add-on for YouthWorks, isn't that right, Mara?
Yeah, so it's the same exact waiver pretty much as our last one. It's to support various programs in the Mayor's Office of Employment Development. I looked at it briefly and it looks almost identical to their previous waiver, which expired at the end of 2022. So they just want a new waiver. We are waiting for them to provide some additional information for their final report, but I'm not concerned. I know that they'll provide that soon, and they'd like to continue with this with solicitations.
And I see the application, they'll continue to have the funds managed by the Baltimore Civic Fund.
Yep, exactly. It's almost like an extension of their previous waiver.
All right, perfect. Is there any discussion thereon? All right, I'd move that we approve the solicitation waiver request for YouthWorks. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor of approving the solicitation waiver for YouthWorks signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
All right, then that is approved. And I think that's all we have on this particular agenda today. So we're going to go ahead and adjourn the public portion of this meeting. Thank you, and we'll see you next month.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.